All right, we're walking around South Bethlehem today. I'm on my way to Shards Recording Studio. It's a little bit off the beaten path. I found it.
Yo.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
You know, just walking around South Bethlehem. I was wondering if I could get a tour
Come on in.
of the space.
Yeah, come on into the secret space. The bunker.
Oh, man. It's just great because you're walking around and you would never in a million years.
Yeah, that's the idea.
You know,
That's the idea. It's kind of a little hidden pocket back here.
So how long have you been in this space?
I've been here, it's funny, I actually posted something yesterday. A picture from 14 years ago popped in my feed. So I've had this for 14 years as a practice space.
Mm-hmm. It
started pretty much as a practice space where I had a little recording setup in the back corner, but I sublet to people.
Right.
Recorded my own bands, recorded some of their bands. And then, you know, slowly but surely, bands phased out, my recording got more busy, and eventually just took over. And it's just a full-time recording space now.
I mean, and you're back at it, you know, I see bands on Instagram posting that they're recording in here. Like,
yeah.
How many days a week, or like what's a regular week like for you?
My week is Wednesday through Sunday, about 11 a.m. to usually as late as like 8 or 9 p.m. So a bunch of stuff in that time. And it's a lot of local bands, but I also do stuff like bands will send me tracks and I'll drum on them.
All right,
This band Under the Clothesline, I drummed on their album, which actually started during the pandemic, and then I mixed their album, and now they're sending me stuff to mix. There's a label out of Arizona that sent me this punk covers by this band, this girl from Tsunami Bomb. Her new project's called Survival Guide. And you might remember Tsunami Bomb.
Yes,
They're like
I do.
a Warped Tour band.
Yep.
So it's Agent M, and she did a compilation of covers, basically. So I mixed her covers compilation here. So I get stuff kind of sent to me and I do stuff, but then I host local people.
It's kind of like, too, if you hang around long enough, right? People you're the guy to go to for these certain things.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
kind of falls in your lap.
The guy who has the label, he's been doing the label for 20 years. And he was actually the person who put me and my band back then in a studio in Los Angeles when we were first there.
All right.
So he kind of gave me my first really cool studio experience, and now I'm working for him.
Yeah.
It's funny.
This has such it feels like the South Side. Do you know what I mean? Like if you were to say a recording studio on the South Side, I would at least have this vision a little bit in my head. I mean, there's some crazy stuff in here. Who are some of the bands that you've recorded recently? I mean, we don't want to, there's a million bands.
There's a million.
Can't catch them all.
I mean, Food Truck just dropped something. The band Lunch Trucks just dropped something. Airspace and I just wrapped up a couple singles for them. It's a steady stream. It's a just kind of constant stream of locals and then stuff from out of town too.
Like, do you feel I don't know what the word is, like hopeful, but just like it seems like the local music scene is doing pretty well.
Oh yeah,
like there's a lot of festivals. You see original bands too, which is a lot of fun. Like obviously we're kind of involved with the Live in the Garden, in Bethlehem, and that's original music. I mean, obviously there's covers in there. Yeah. But what is the vibe, like the feel on the street, I guess?
Oh man, the vibe is great. I mean, there's a bunch of people working together and working hard at getting something going. And that's like something I saw when I first moved. I got this space because I wanted to try and transform this area. Mm-hmm. Like I wanted a big space where people could go to practice and record, feel free to express themselves and everything. And I feel like that attitude is catching on with other people. And we're actually kind of getting more and more organized. Like the Ice House has a really great crew of people who are doing regular shows. There's the Live in the Garden, Live in the Greenway, me working with Southside Arts District and the mayor's office and stuff like that. We're all trying to like lift everything up. And it's cool to see everyone taking the arts and music seriously now.
And it is, you mentioned the Ice House. It's really nice. I love that space.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see other people being like, oh yeah, this is a very DIY thing that the city owns, so it's pretty easy to kind of get in there. It's not there's not a lot of red tape to it.
Yeah.
So that's exciting too. And it's great that we have it.
Yeah, it's like a resource for the public, and it's both a DIY space, but you put the right PA system and the right infrastructure and protocols in place, and you can make that feel like a legit venue in Philly or something like that. It's a bit high capacity.
It feels
you know, we just put like I think an expensive PA system in there too, so there's a lot of good gear. Almost the same thing that's at the Rose Garden now is there.
That's great, and that only happens because we're like, hey, we want space. But speaking of equipment, can you give me like the dime tour of this space?
The rundown?
Yeah, I mean clearly, you know, drum kit.
It's I'm not a hoarder because I use everything.
Sure, that's.
This is like my prized drum set. It's an '80s Yamaha recording custom. I use it on like anything I play drums on for the most part. It's technically one of the most recorded drum sets ever because this model was used in drum machines when they had like drum samplers and stuff like that. This was like the kit they used to sample as like the standard standard rock kit, basically.
So we just all heard that.
You've probably heard samples from this before. I have an old Hammond organ, synthesizer that does anything, tube amps, another old haunted Hammond organ that's like a chord organ of sorts, weird sample Casios, some big beefy loud monitors, some kind of quieter monitors and stuff like that. A whole bunch of weird front end that I like to mangle stuff on the way in, mic preamps, compressors, equalizers, all that good stuff. SSL summing, which is a cool thing, I guess.
And look at you're even, you got the new stuff as well. It's not all analog.
Yeah, it's a mixture. I got an old tape machine.
This is fantastic, though.
An old like Moog by Radio Shack thing. I make this into a tape delay. It's an old reel-to-reel, but there's a trick where you put some of the signal back in that you're recording, and it turns into a tape delay and stuff like that. Old digital verbs and stuff like that. A wall of junk and drums that you probably want to cut out.
Well, like you said, as long as you're using it, it's,
no,
it's legitimate. You're not.
The thing is, too,
it doesn't feel cluttered.
Yeah, and
homey.
I have used a little bit of everything to the point where I have a vocabulary built off of what I have here, so I kind of know like what of my wild amount of stuff I need to make a sound happen. You know what I mean?
No, that makes sense. Like, I'm looking for that tone. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's if I connect this to this to this.
Exactly.
That's where I get that.
Yeah, this drum with some tape on it, whatever. Yeah.
So if I'm, maybe a local band or an artist who is interested in recording and I want to work with you, what do I do?
Just hit me up on my social media is the easiest way to find me because I have my email address in there in the link tree. You can just email shardslv@gmail.com, but I'm active on Instagram, just kind of sharing what I'm doing, shards_recording_studio, and that's also where I kind of share some of the Bethlehem stuff going on too, and Tape Swap Radio stuff as well.
Right, so I mean, even if it's not necessarily to record per se, even if it's just to kind of build a relationship, like you said, you're at the forefront of helping kind of guide some of these different events and all that. So.
I can point people in the right direction. Right. Totally. Add them to a spreadsheet full of bands and stuff like that so we can pick from it and throw them on a bill or something like that.
Anything you're really looking forward to, either in this coming up for Music Fest or anything?
I mean, I am looking forward to Music Fest.
Of course.
I don't know if that's like...
I probably just hang out
is it cool to say that yet?
It's gotta be.
It was cool to hate Music Fest for a little while.
But music, you're allowed to hate it.
I'm just kidding.
But it's also like, you can go down there, literally, you don't have to spend a dime.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find free parking,
That's
you
what I
gotta
tell
walk
people.
a little bit, and you're gonna listen to free music.
Yeah.
So I get it. I mean, also, they pay every band.
They do.
Every band gets paid, right?
So we've played it.
It's one of those.
It's a good thing. It's not everything. Everyone wants things to be black and white. It's not black and white.
It can't work that way.
There are some downsides. There are some upsides.
Absolutely.
The upsides are huge. The local businesses thrive because of it. Everyone around here gets to go out and socialize, and I feel like everyone gets a nice big bump.
And it makes you feel. I don't know. It makes me more proud of the community I live in.
Yeah.
It's something that other people know where you live. They know.
Yeah,
that
you
part
feel
of
proud,
it, or they've been to it. No,
definitely.
So I definitely feel that way. So you can hate on Music Fest. I'm not joining in.
Yeah, Music Fest is cool.
Right.
I have a friend coming in from California too. We're going to do some recording and for a sample pack thing, and I'm going to take him around to Music Fest and show him the sites. They have something similar where he's from called Street Fair, and it's like a 1-day thing or 2-day thing or something like that in their little circle. So it's kind of like if the center of Easton had a thing for 2 days that went like a block away, and he's like, is it like a Street Fair? I'm like, kind of, but a little bit bigger.
And the Bell Guy is back.
That's awesome.
So I mean, I'm looking forward to that one a lot too. But yeah, we didn't even get to the answer of your question. Music Fest, of course.
Yeah, that's a big thing to look forward to. Like you said, it's a good reason to get out and see people, and there's lots of free stuff to do, and socialize, feel good,
and follow you on social media.
Yeah.
Keep follow along because of all the different events we mentioned. Live in the Garden, live on the Greenway, which is just a throw a rock from here, and that's where they perform.
Once this is done too, we originally wanted to do at the gate of the Greenway, which is right in front of this building. Like that's kind of the end of the start, depending on how you're looking at it. And that's where it was actually supposed to be, but it wasn't done on time. So maybe when we do the next big one, it'll be over here.
Makes sense. All right, Matt, I appreciate the tour.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming over.
See me out?
I'll see you out.
A long day recording.
Yeah, I do.
All right, man. See you.
Sweet. Thanks for coming by.